Hey there, so it's Gavin here from Rapid Funding Solutions, and I'm here today with Alison Cross. Alison, you joined us around 3 weeks ago now. It was certainly early.
About 3.5 weeks ago, yes.
Brilliant, brilliant. And so I'm going to just talk to Alison. She's only obviously new to the program, but she does have broking experience prior to this, and we're just going to kind of go through the ins and outs of her experience so far. So you were broking before, Alison. So just explain a little bit about your prior life, if you like, before coming into the program.
Sure. That was before the big housing crash. I did residential lending. I was a loan broker, and I tell you, it was good when it was good, but after it crashed, it was done. And so I got a chance to talk to people, learn the ropes, learn the terminology, and the do's and don'ts, the ins and outs of it, the legal aspect. So it was pretty nice.
You found us via YouTube, and you were sort of actively searching for some type of program to kind of help you get back into the industry. So I'm curious as to what triggered the search for a program and not doing what a lot of people do, which is just set up the brokerage and just kind of dive straight in. Why were you looking for a program this time around?
Well, the reason primarily is I like information, and I firm believer that if you have the correct information and you know your products, you'll be successful. And for a person to just dive into something because they watched a couple of videos and they think they can do it, they're not going to be a good service to the customers because you won't have enough knowledge to talk, intelligently about what you're trying to sell. And that'll in turn cause you to lose customers. And so my thing is I wanted to get with a company that knows the product, is well informed, and you have to be teachable. So if you are willing to learn and learn the product and learn the terminology and things like that from somebody who really does know it, and not just thinking they know and hurry up and finding stuff to give you. If they really know what they're talking about, that's who you want to be with. You want to be with someone that's successful, knows the business, so you can glean information from them.
Got it. And I know you sort of looked at a few programs before, settling on us. So what is it that attracted you? And please be honest, what is it attracted you to us versus these other programs on the market right now?
Sure. Well, it was a couple of things. One program in particular, I was looking at, not naming names. One particular program was, it was very, very affordable, but the knowledge base was not there. And when I watched the videos of the person that was over the program, I was not impressed. They seemed very haphazard in their knowledge and always kind of like grasping for information that, if you know what you're doing, it's up here, and you're going to be able to talk about it. And I didn't want to get hooked up with a program or a person or whatever that didn't have a solid information base of what they're talking about. And then also I looked at another program, I think about a week prior to talking to you, and the price was okay, but I was not impressed with the person I talked to. And so impression is everything. What turned me off was it seemed to be a little hurry up and do this because, I want you to get in here so I can just hurry up. And I felt rushed. I didn't feel like there was enough quality conversation for me to spend my money, and I was really wanting to talk to someone that, had a passion for what they're doing. They were not just trying to get somebody on board, but really, and you can tell when you talk to people where they are, if you're a good listener, and I'm a very good listener. And so, but, so that's why I didn't go with the prior one, because not enough information. They weren't confident on what they were trying to sell. And so if you can't sell me something, I'm not going to be able to sit under you and sell somebody else something if I'm not confident in what you're doing, And so those were a couple of examples of the people I talked to prior to talking to you.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. And I think, we make a bit of a fuss of saying that the key thing about our program is that we want to offer not only just the step-by-step training, but the support and everything as well. So I'm curious now, you've been here for 3 weeks. I know you're already submitting deals, which is great. How have you found the experience so far?
I found it really, it's been challenging, but it's been good. It's been challenging in a good way. And one thing I wanted to say before I go into that is the reason I went with you guys is because when I spoke with you the first time, you were not pressuring me. and you were saying, well, whenever you're ready to get started, when it's comfortable for you, then let's get started. And that went a long way with me. It didn't, because sometimes people make you feel if you don't do it right now, it's not going to happen for you, but you said, and that really stuck in my mind. If it's, when you're ready to get started, we'll be here for you. So I said, okay. So I did my, due diligence and my homework on the company, and I was very satisfied. But going into it, it's been very challenging because there's a learning curve. So you have to dedicate time, like you guys said, a couple of hours a day at least, to sit down. You got to learn, to go through the program, watch the videos, and things that you guys have for us, education wise, so that we'll know what to do and how to do it. And then you have to put those things into practice. And while it's been a challenge because my time is limited, I make sure that I set aside time to follow the process of, that you guys are telling us to do.
Actually, I just want to say this because guys and girls sort of watching this right now, Alison also works a full-time job, and she's planning on working herself out of the job by, following the steps in the program. And what's impressing us is the fact that you're doing that, but you're disciplined with the time that you're giving this. And that's that's producing the results, right? That's why the deal flow is coming in. What I'd kind of be good to just dig into right now and just help these guys understand is that one of the big things we focus on is that these organic methods that don't require spending money to get leads in. So what is it you're kind of doing right now? You don't have to tell us exactly what you're doing, but high level, what you're doing to get these deals in that we're now working for you.
Well, one of the things I do is I do the Facebook thing that you guys taught us how to do. And that's been the most successful for me, other than, rather than the other, things that, you guys told us to do. And so I think one of the things that you have to do is you find where you get in and what works for you, and you stay there. Because if you, like you were saying, if you try to be everywhere at the same time, it's going to have some type of break, and it's not going to, work really well. So what I found where my niche was on Facebook, and that's what I do. And I don't try to do this, that, and the other because it's working for somebody else. If you stick with what works for you, you'll be very successful, because perfecting one thing is better than trying to do a whole lot of stuff that's not perfected. So I'm focusing on perfecting what works for me on Facebook with my advertising and things that I do there. And that's producing results. So right now, why go somewhere else when that well is full of water?
Absolutely. And that's a valuable lesson as well, because I've got a call after this interview where one of the guys is actually getting overwhelmed, and he's doing exactly what you're saying there. He's doing too many things, and it's just too much to take on board. So the best way to do it is just simplify, pick the one thing that suits your style and who you are as a person, and it generally works, right? So the deals that are coming in, give us some high level as to what these are. What sort of opportunities have we got here?
It's been awesome. It makes me smile. The opportunities that I've been able to at least open the door to have, opportunities to talk to someone, and then they become interested. Some of the deals are like hotel deals. Someone wants to, purchase a hotel. I mean, just tons of deals that will, I want to say upwards of, I want to say almost, maybe $70 million worth of deals on my table right now. And I'm not going to say how much I'm going to make off that, but if you get into the program, you'll be very happy. And so I have a lot on the table for 3 weeks, but it's because I followed the process. And, the deals, they go from, small loans, X amount of dollars, 10,000 up to over 50 million. And so when you start, that type of momentum, all you have to do is just keep it going. And the one thing I would say is don't get discouraged by no, because if you remember Colonel Sanders, when he was doing the chicken thing and he had his recipe, he went door to door to door and got no. And it only takes one person. So it only takes one deal to make it happen for you. So I would just say, keep going.
Do you know what? That's so true. And it's probably the best advice you can give anybody, because the methods work. And what you're doing is you're just doing this, I say rinse, repeat every day. And you're doing that. And it's stacking your pipeline full of all of these different deals. And that way round, you don't get so attached to this one deal having to happen to make a payday. Because even if like 10 of them decline, it doesn't matter, because you've got another 10 coming through. Something will close. And I think that's what you're seeing now. As much as we haven't closed yet, because it's only been 3 weeks,
Right.
just that weight of volume and the pipeline building up, it
Mhm.
creates this inevitable situation where
Right.
something's going to close. And the great thing, as you say, about the deal sizes is they're pretty big. So
Yeah, yeah,
one of them is a game changer,
yeah, yeah.
especially that hotel. That would be great.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one. And it's a good thing because when you do something, when you get into something that you really like doing, it's not stressful. It's when you
Absolutely.
get into something like you were saying just for the money, but you don't have a passion for it. That's where the stress comes in.
Exactly. No, well said there. So, as I say, not funded yet, but we can see that that's an inevitable outcome. I'm curious as to what you're looking for this program to help you achieve in the future.
Yeah, I like, I like to, I love to help people. What I want this program, what I would like for it to see to help me to achieve in the future, a couple of things. I want to build a community, and so I would want to eventually fund my own deal, and build a community of houses.
Yeah.
And I want to also eventually have my own. I may do brick and mortar, but it's not so important because everything is virtual and you really don't need to spend that kind of money anymore. Who needs to have overhead? So I would like to develop a team of people that I can help be successful as well, following the model that you guys have laid out.
And we absolutely support you in that endeavor as well, because I think that's the other thing. It's not part of the interview, but we have a community and we're very careful with this to have like-minded people in the community. So there is an energy to the group, and that's just building as more and more of the same type of people come in. So it doesn't matter your level of experience or knowledge. It just matters that you've got that drive and determination to succeed. Right. And really just doing the things that you're doing, Alison, you really can't not succeed. It has to happen.
I refuse to not succeed.
Absolutely, right? But that exactly is what is required to succeed. It's the refusal to give up, to keep pushing forward with momentum every day. And, specifically to what we've got going on in the program, it's just follow the same methods every day. You will get deals and eventually they fund, and then you're making money consistently.
That's right.
And it's pretty straightforward.
It is.
So what would you, I'm not looking for a plug for the program here, but now there are lots of people out there that are looking to get into this industry. There's a lot of information to take in. And there are even people, coming into this program now that we know have started, and they're not able to sort of join the dots and get things together to actually make money. Some are even wasting money buying leads and those kind of things. Just curious as to someone that's kind of been there, what would your advice be to those people right now?
I would tell, if you're overwhelmed, just sit back for a minute and think about what is it that you are doing that's stressing you out. What part of the process don't you understand? Because there's always a missing link somewhere when people are trying to connect the dots. It could be connecting even what a percentage is, or, it could be anything. It could be one sentence. So I think the most important thing is to sit back and figure out within yourself, what is it that's stressing me out about the program? Is it the fact that I'm seeing other people talking about their deals and I just jumped in and I think it's supposed to happen for me overnight? Because some people, because of, I guess, conditioning overall, where there's been so many get rich quick schemes and things like that, people come into certain programs with the mental thing going on that I'm going to do this and tomorrow I'm going to get $1 million. It doesn't work like that. So I think first of all, you have to change the way you think and the way you see the program. And a lot of people, I think they want to jump to the end. I think you said, mentioned something like that. Don't jump to the end of the videos, watch them all. But I think some people, they log in, they start watching the training, but they skip a lot of meat to get to the end to see what they're going to get. And so I think it could be not really focusing on going step by step, but maybe skipping around trying to see this and that. And then that will cause confusion because you haven't gotten the fundamentals of the program.
That's really good advice. Thank you for that, Alison. Appreciate it. And so, just to wrap this up, really, Alison is actually the perfect case study of how quickly you can come into something like this, get pretty crazy deal flow going on. Your pipeline in 3 weeks is already multiple millions. One of those is a crazy big deal, 50 million hotel complex. And this is real. This isn't like some wishful thinking kind of investor. This is a real project, a guy that's got a track record of doing these things. And Alison's pulled them in. and we are working on the deal.
Right.
And it won't be a, you know, something that will close next week because of the size of
Right.
it. But,
Right.
you know, it's going through the process of being funded. And so short of some kind of apocalyptic event, that outcome's going to happen, which is brilliant.
Right. You know, and another thing I wanted to say about when you're talking to potential customers or clients, don't be afraid to say you don't know. You know, don't be afraid
Yeah.
to say, I don't know. That's a good question. Let me get back with you on that. It doesn't make you look ignorant. It doesn't make you look stupid. It makes you look actually smart, because it's letting the person know that they don't know everything, but they're willing to go back and get the answer and come back to me with it. Or let me put you in touch with one of, you know, someone that can answer that question for you in detail. And I think that's one of the things that I would say as a piece of advice. You don't have to act like you know it all, because no one does. And a person, I believe, will respect you more if you tell them, I don't know, let me get back with you, than trying to, you know, hem and haw and beat around the bush with a answer that they probably already know. So, you know.
Very, very true. And actually, just to kind of second on that, that there's a lot of brokers out there right now and clients that are getting such a bad service simply because they're just being fed BS.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the situation where they don't really know the answer, and they're giving us some line or something like that,
Yep.
and the clients are being let down. So the key thing that clients are looking for is credibility and trust.
Right.
And you gain more credibility and trust just by being honest and saying, hey, I don't know, but I'll get back to you with the answer.
Yeah.
Than
Yeah.
trying to make up the answer and realizing you've got it wrong, and then you're just letting everybody down.
Yep.
So yeah, solid piece of advice, Alison. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And well, that's the end of the interview. Hopefully that's helped some of you guys looking to get into this industry or are considering this program. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me directly, Gavin@rapidfundingsolutions.com. Thank you. Thank you, Alison.
You're welcome. Happy selling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.